The average American who buys the wrong car in 2026 is going to lose somewhere between $8,000 and $14,000 in unexpected repairs and depreciation within 3 years. That's not my opinion. That's what the ownership data is telling us right now. And the scary part? Most of these buyers think they're making a smart purchase. They've done the test drive, they love the color, the dealer gave them a good rate, and none of that matters because the vehicle itself is a financial trap. Today, I'm going through the cars, trucks, and SUVs that smart buyers, the ones who actually look at the data before signing, are flat out refusing to buy in 2026. And some of these are going to surprise you, because a couple of them are popular. A couple of them look incredible on the lot, but the ownership numbers don't lie. Let's get into it. Here's what's changed. We now have access to more real-world reliability data than at any point in automotive history. Consumer Reports is surveying roughly 380,000 vehicles. J.D. Power is tracking problems per 100 vehicles across every brand. NHTSA complaint databases are public and searchable. And what all of this data is revealing for 2026 is a massive gap between the cars that look good in advertisements and the cars that actually hold up when real people drive them every day. The industry average right now sits at about 202 problems per 100 3-year-old vehicles. That's up from last year. But here's the thing, that's an average. Some brands are coming in around 140 problems per 100. Others are pushing past 280. That's double the trouble. Same price range, same dealership experience, completely different ownership reality. And the biggest shift? The problems aren't just mechanical anymore. Infotainment crashes, software glitches, smartphone connectivity failures. These are now the #1 complaint category across the entire industry. Your car's touchscreen freezing at 70 miles an hour isn't just annoying. It's a safety issue. So with that context, let's talk about the specific vehicles that are raising the most red flags. If I had to pick the single worst new vehicle you can walk into a dealership and buy today, the Dodge Hornet would be very near the top of that list. And I don't say that lightly, but the evidence is overwhelming. The Hornet is Stellantis' attempt at a small, sporty crossover. Sounds great on paper. In reality, it's cobbled together from Alfa Romeo and Fiat components, assembled in Italy, alongside its equally troubled twin, the Alfa Romeo Tonale. And the reliability track record is already bad. We're looking at 84 NHTSA complaints filed in just the first couple of model years. 6 separate recalls, and these aren't minor. One recall addresses brake pedals that can collapse and cause a loss of brake function. Another covers high voltage cables that weren't tightened properly and could overheat and start a fire while parked or driving. Brake failure and fire risk on a vehicle that's barely been on the market. Multiple automotive reviewers have called the Hornet one of the worst vehicles on sale today. AutoGuide ranked it the #1 worst SUV of 2026. And here's what makes it even worse. Stellantis has already dropped the Hornet from its future lineup. They're walking away from it. So what does that tell you about parts availability and dealer support 5 years from now? If you're cross-shopping in this segment, a Mazda CX-30, a Hyundai Tucson, a Subaru Crosstrek, any of those will give you a dramatically better ownership experience for similar money. The Grand Cherokee is one of the most recognizable names in the SUV world. And right now, it's also one of the riskiest purchases you can make. Look, I understand the appeal. The Grand Cherokee looks fantastic. It's got heritage. It's capable. But Stellantis quality issues have hit this model hard, especially the plug-in hybrid 4ONWC version. The Ford One has been described by multiple reviewers as a total repair nightmare. Owners report electrical gremlins, software malfunctions, and powertrain issues that dealers struggle to diagnose. The regular gas-powered Grand Cherokee isn't immune either. Build quality inconsistency has been a documented issue across the Jeep lineup for years now. In the Consumer Reports 2026 reliability survey, Jeep ranked 24th out of 26 brands. 24th. That puts them near the absolute bottom of the industry. And there's a bigger picture problem. Stellantis as a company is struggling. Their Canadian market share dropped from 15% in 2015 to just 6% by 2025. Dealer lots are overstuffed with unsold inventory, which is why you're seeing massive discounts. The 2026 Gladiator dropped over $11,000 from the previous year's price. A big discount on an unreliable vehicle is not a deal. It's a warning sign. If you've ever dreamed of owning a Range Rover, I need you to hear this number: $141,000. That's not the purchase price, although that's eye-watering enough. That's what CarEdge calculated as the total cost of ownership across just the first 5 years. They gave the Range Rover their worst possible grade, a straight F for value. And the mechanical issues are well documented. Mechanics who work on these vehicles consistently point to 3 recurring failure categories: air suspension breakdowns, electrical system malfunctions, and cooling system failures. These aren't cheap fixes. We're talking thousands of dollars per visit, and these visits happen regularly. Here's what a veteran mechanic shared publicly about Range Rovers. The combination of a complex air suspension, sophisticated electronics, and cooling systems that aren't built to last creates a perfect storm of expensive recurring problems. The Range Rover is beautiful. It drives like nothing else. And it will absolutely bleed your bank account. If you want a luxury SUV that can actually handle some off-road duty without the catastrophic ownership costs, look at a Lexus GX or even a Toyota 4Runner. They're not as glamorous, but your wallet will thank you for years. I need to pause here because 3 of the vehicles on this list share something in common. They're all Stellantis products. Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram. They're all under the Stellantis umbrella, and the reliability data across this entire family of brands is concerning. Chrysler ranked 22nd, Jeep 24th, and Ram 25th out of 26 brands in the Consumer Reports Reliability Survey. That's the bottom of the barrel across multiple brands from the same parent company. And beyond reliability, there are legitimate questions about the company's financial stability, dealer network health, and long-term warranty support. Some dealers are struggling under the weight of unsold inventory and quarterly losses. That matters to you as a buyer because your warranty is only as good as the dealer network that supports it. I'm not saying every Stellantis vehicle is bad, but the data says you need to approach the entire lineup with serious caution in 2026. The GMC Hummer EV is a vehicle that exists to prove a point. Unfortunately, that point is not reliable. This thing weighs over 9,000 pounds. It's absurdly powerful and dangerously quick for something that heavy. But here's the problem. It is the only electric vehicle on the market that's less efficient than some gas-electric hybrids. Think about that for a second. An electric vehicle that uses more energy per mile than a hybrid. US News gave it a J.D. Power reliability rating of just 63 out of 100 and a value rating of 5.1 out of 10. And the reliability survey data places it squarely among the least dependable vehicles of 2026. It does have over 300 miles of range, and it's legitimately impressive off-road. I'll give it that. But for the price, and we're talking 6 figures, the ownership experience just doesn't match the investment. And if something goes wrong with the electrical systems or the drivetrain, on a vehicle this complex and this massive, you're looking at repair bills that'll make your eyes water. German engineering is a beautiful thing, right up until the warranty expires. Both the Audi Q7 and the BMW X1 landed on the US News list of the 10 least reliable cars of 2026. And the pattern is the same one mechanics have been warning about for years. When these vehicles are new and under warranty, they're impressive. The interiors are gorgeous, the driving dynamics are sharp, the technology is cutting edge. But suspension systems fail often. Cooling systems need expensive maintenance. Electronic modules develop costly problems. And because these are premium vehicles, every repair comes with a premium price tag. A mechanic who works extensively on German luxury vehicles put it bluntly. Small equipment problems eventually snowball into very expensive repair costs. If you love the German luxury experience but don't want the ownership headaches, take a serious look at what Lexus is doing. The Lexus brand consistently ranks at or near the top of every reliability survey, with some models reporting as few as 140 problems per 100 vehicles. That's nearly half the industry average. The Pacifica Hybrid should be one of the best family vehicles on the road. Instead, it's become one of the most recalled. This is another Stellantis product, and the issues are serious. Stellantis recalled over 19,500 Pacifica hybrids due to battery cell abnormalities that could lead to fires. Separate recalls addressed transmission wiring connectors that could cause engines to shut down unexpectedly. Owners have reported their vehicles going into limp mode or completely shutting off, sometimes requiring weeks of repair time. And the AC systems have a history of failing to maintain temperature. For a family vehicle, a vehicle you're putting your kids in, this pattern of safety-related recalls is deeply concerning. If you need a minivan, and minivans are genuinely great family vehicles, the Toyota Sienna and the Honda Odyssey both offer dramatically better reliability records. The Sienna's hybrid powertrain is built on Toyota's proven architecture. It's not even close in terms of long-term dependability. Alright, so we've talked about what to avoid. Let me quickly tell you what the data actually supports. The most reliable vehicles in 2026 share three characteristics. They come from brands with consistent reliability track records. They're built on mature, proven platforms. And they avoid cramming and bleeding edge technology just because they can. Toyota and Lexus continue to dominate. The Camry, the RAV4 Hybrid, the 4Runner, the Lexus IS. These are vehicles built with engineering discipline. Subaru's Crosstrek and Forester are performing well. And here's an insight that fleet managers figured out years ago. Carryover models, the ones that haven't been completely redesigned, average about 45 fewer problems per 100 vehicles compared to freshly redesigned models. So if you're shopping in 2026, here's your framework. Check the J.D. Power Reliability Score. Anything below 70 out of 100 is a red flag. Look at Consumer Reports' predicted reliability. Search the NHTSA database for recalls on the specific model and year. And if the vehicle was just redesigned this year, consider waiting for the second model year when the early issues get sorted out. That takes 20 minutes of research. And it can save you thousands. Here's the bottom line. Not every expensive car is a good car. Not every popular car is a reliable car. And not every deal at the dealership is actually a deal. The Dodge Hornet, the Jeep Grand Cherokee Ford X, the Range Rover, the Hummer EV, the Audi Q7, the BMW X1, the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. These are vehicles where the data is telling a very different story than the brochure. You now have information that most buyers walking onto a dealership lot don't have. Use it. I put out content like this regularly because the automotive industry moves fast and new data drops constantly. If staying ahead of these ownership pitfalls matters to you, and it should, because we're talking about the second or third biggest purchase most people ever make, subscribe so you catch the next one. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, have you had a nightmare ownership experience with any of the vehicles on this list? Or is there a car you think should have made the cut that I missed? I read the comments, and your real-world experiences are genuinely valuable for other buyers watching this.